It's gone now.
I like Clark's idea. I had my car gone glassy a while ago. And to have a better,
You started getting the,
Yeah.
yeah, I do.
with a better idea of how close. And I feel kind of that we have picked on the library just a little because she has defended it well. And if we're gonna look, we're gonna look elsewhere too. So, Shirley was the only one to have to stand back up and present something, so.
Well, and I know it's not perceived that way, I'm not picking on anybody. I'm not picking on a single person or a single department.
I'll just
I get a
make
little tired getting late about it, yeah.
just a comment too. We did a lot of moving of things to Lost. I guess that's fine, but I don't know if we should make it a habit of doing that. Right now, there's nothing on the horizon, you know, unless some of the talks that happened last week with parks and all those things. If some requests come from that, from the city to put money towards stuff, but I would hate to deplete Lost, just to make sure, I don't want to deplete Lost just so we don't have to make additional cuts. Okay.
Which is why I was in favor of taking out the campgrounds, electrical, sewer, barrier arms. Brad said get rid of the tennis court.
Only if it's in the general.
Well, what's that?
Only if it was in the general fund. Otherwise, it wants.
But that's part of my regroup. Let's find out where we're actually at.
Yeah, I think
Good.
we do need to continue to
Just sort of valid.
We can't just take like a half-hour break and do some configuring and come back and keep at it? Or you're talking about a whole other day?
I think the state has allowed us time, I say we take some time to do it. I don't have an appointment, okay, but.
Well, it can come back, yeah, we've got time. I mean, it can come back the first council meeting in March with a refreshed packet.
I would be in favor of that.
And set aside maybe a time period towards the end of that council meeting to review, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
In essence, a mini budget.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because we've got the time to do it.
I
Yep,
think
that's
that's why
fine.
they kicked the date out a little bit, because they knew a whole bunch of us were gonna be scrambling around to figure out what they just did to us.
Yeah, I feel like it's a little hasty.
Right.
Yeah, I don't really want that either.
So campground though, no on the campground, so I know to take that out for sure.
I'm a no.
Leave it as a question
I
and we
think
can
I
come back
really
with
like
it.
the Ballards, but, I mean,
I've got,
Well,
we've
we've got those in.
we've
But-
heard pushback on that too, but I get two sides on that. Is it a safety issue, or is it golf carts? Well, we can't stop the golf carts. I get sincere feeling that there's golfers that don't want that traffic stopped. That's the sincere.
I
feeling
agree with you. And I think, Brian, that's maybe something where we can ask you for some help, because you probably have a pretty good idea. I mean, what we're talking about here are people who live nearby, right, who don't store their cart at the golf course and are driving home to and from the course.
All we're talking about is the south side of the
Right,
lake, right?
right, yeah.
Could be
I mean,
me, but I store my cart out there. So it's not me.
So, I mean,
But it could be me.
Only when you run home for a sandwich.
Yeah.
But the
yeah.
only thing is, they could still get home, they just have to drive a little further out of their way on the course. I mean, it's not like they have
Right,
to go
right.
through there.
Or no, exactly.
It's much
They
more
could actually
dangerous.
drive on the street.
Right,
It's much more.
But
dangerous.
also, which golf carts are we talking about though? Because there's a lot of campers that have golf carts, that bring golf carts into the campground to drive to the bathrooms
Thank you for that information.
Yeah.
and drive around, because I don't think it's all just golf carts that are.
I mean,
If
the
we
only
put
thing
these
we're
on-
talking about is the sidewalk
golf
on the south
course.
side of the lake, right?
Right,
That's all we're
between
talking
what
about.
that used to be the
Right.
old pit and the other pit. And if we put those up, they can't use them either, if we put them.
Because I'm not so sure some of those golf carts aren't problems from the campground themselves,
Good point.
or from
Yeah,
campers.
yeah.
I mean, I think everybody thinks the golf cart might be from either the housing development or the golf course, but
I think it's in. From the-
I know there's golf carts that leave that campground that drive around the rec trail.
Okay, okay.
So I don't know if it's some of those that are
appreciate that.
driving around at night.
Yeah,
I know I'm not gonna say there's nobody that's tied in with the golf course that their golf cart goes down there, but I think some of those problems are probably within as well.
yeah.
And probably, I mean, there's a lot of, you just see a lot of different golf carts driving around that
You know, I ride my.
I don't see on a weekly basis. so
I'll ride a
then,
bike through the area we're talking about. I don't generally see too many golf carts, but, I mean, that's, 2 minutes out of
Same every
of
time I
a
go
week,
through there.
so, yeah, so I mean, so I appreciate that, but I do think that there are some people who drive their cart that don't live there, but I don't know that they're necessarily on that cart path either, I guess.
I don't think-
Based on what I'm hearing, but maybe there's a couple, but probably not, I don't know.
What I've been telling people-
Rely on people like you that are there all the time,
What
so.
what have you told people?
Everybody has a cell phone. Everybody can take a picture.
Yeah, show me who it
A
is.
lot of people have my phone number that they can send it to me, and then we can determine who it actually is.
Yeah, they just talk.
Yeah, well, all I'm saying is like, when you,
I have suggested.
It isn't.
just have a.
I mean, we don't have to publish, hey, this guy
no,
posted
just-
the picture,
no,
but
no,
it's
just-
like, hey,
Just like
I
at league
can.
meetings or,
Yeah, I
Well,
mean,
not
it's,
to mention,
or
it
your
was a yellow
newsletter.
golf cart with green
it's
ball
pretty easy
carriers.
to,
Pretty easy to identify.
absolutely, and that's maybe where, before we just throw something in there to block cart traffic, that's also going to affect the people in the campground, because we need to maybe figure out.
As for the sewer and electrical, can you just show it both ways, or just put it in red or something?
What other
Just-
clarification you need, Jim?
I think I got notes on everything else. Like maybe just searching to find out if there's other ways we can move some other ones, so.
But actually, one of Jason's concerns is exactly why I'm suggesting we do that, is because I've heard lost, and I'm starting to go, where's this fund?
Well, hopefully it's not anything more than a stopgap, and the legislature kind of fixes the problem that they caused. And it's I mean,
4 years.
but yeah, that's the point, is you're hoping that they fix it at some point down the road, and it may not, so,
It's 4 years for sure,
yeah.
4 budget cycles.
Okay.
I know they're pushing a quicker lowering of the income tax, so things aren't getting better on the collection side of it.
Okay.
Would you like Joe to show it with the 2 employees in there, or how?
I'd like to see that as well.
Yeah.
Both ways.
I would.
I think we've got to just fundamentally decide what are our priorities here.
Absolutely.
And I think the role of city government, public safety is probably the top priority. So, and we go from there. So, in terms of including those 2, I would say let's do that.
Okay.
And with the projected and/or goal of expanding our town, I think we have to understand that our costs are gonna go up. They're just going to go up.
So then we would regroup for the very next council meeting
On March 5th.
on March 5th and plan on another budget workshop then,
Yeah, that'd be
following the meeting.
quicker.
A mini one.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be
way cheaper.
the depth.
We don't need a lot,
We
they're-
would need departments.
they can show up.
Unless you wanted to show up, or if we had questions, or further questions.
Right.
Yeah, I think it probably would be helpful to invite them, just in case.
I'm good with that.
I mean, not to pick on Shirley, but I mean, Shirley was able to, like Steve said, was able to provide us with some useful information. Brian with some useful information here too, so invite them, and if they want to come, then they can come.
If I were then I would.
Joe, I got my $5 grand for the garage door, it's just donated by a private individual.
You can take that out.
Nice.
Any other comments for the budget workshop?
I mean, are you good with that, this whole
Absolutely. I'm good with it.
recess?
Yeah, I feel like we were gonna make things too hastily, and there's a lot of moving parts here.
And I start getting muddy. I mean,
Yeah.
I really do. So,
I think it's a good idea to take a break with it.
motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?